Hey there YouTube lovers, my name is BB8 and today I am going to review Pokémon Legends Z-A. After Pokémon Legends Arceus back in 2022, I was hoping that wasn't the only Legends game to ever come out, which for Legends 2, I was hoping for them to either do Johto or Unova for the sequel, but in 2024, the bombshell dropped when it was revealed that Pokémon Legends 2 would be titled Pokémon Legends Z-A, which I was interested to see how Pokémon Legends Kalos would work, since I did find it a bit random that Kalos would be chosen early on, and I was really interested in the concept of Pokémon Legends going to Kalos. And fast forward to October of 2025, waiting twice as long than normal for a Pokemon game, I finally played it, and what did I think about it? You're about to find out. But before we get into the review itself, I thought I would provide a brief recap on my review of Pokémon Legends Arceus from 2022. Originally, when Legends Arceus first released, I gave it an 8.5 out of 10, since I did find it quite a refreshing Pokemon game, as it did drop the formula that we usually have from other games while giving us a semi-open world with real-time catching, as well as rideable Pokemon and a story that takes us back to the Hisui region, as Legends Arceus did throw us into the past with the task of building the first ever Pokédex, while also dealing with Alpha Pokemon and the mysterious rift, with Legends Arceus standing out for having battles with Dialga, Palkia, Giratina, but I always felt that Legends Arceus should have had Arceus as the final boss. And despite a few issues with the graphics, it's easily one of my favourite Pokemon games, and did lay the groundwork for what Legends can become in the future. And now fast forward to Pokémon Legends Z-A, we're finally reviewing it. So, did Pokémon Legends Z-A reach its 100% form, or did it have a hard time mega evolving into its true form? You're about to find out. So, without further ado, let's get into it, shall we? For the gameplay, the real-time combat introduced in Pokémon Legends Z-A is simple, but works surprisingly well. It does give you more control over your moves and your positioning than other Pokemon games would traditionally go for, without overwhelming you with too many combat options. While Legends Arceus did play out more like an action-like RPG, where you can move the player character but not the Pokemon itself, Legends Z-A does lean more into Xenoblade and Final Fantasy VII Remake, but still feels like Pokemon while going action RPG-like, because managing your moves in real time does manage to keep each Pokemon battle engaging, especially since spamming the same attack over and over again no longer works as a strategy. The Rogue Mega Evolution battles do stand out to me because each one feels unique, both in visuals and mechanics, keeping the player guessing what each Pokemon is going to attack, then repeating the same thing with the same attacks over and over again. And even Mega designs I wasn't fond of before, like Mega Starmie, who I wasn't fond of from the trailers, were implemented very well. And these are the kind of fights that do show the potential of the action RPG fighting style, which does provide for some fast-paced and tactical battles at the same time. And while I did enjoy the real-time combat system in Pokémon Legends Z-A, I would love to see future Pokémon titles give players the choice between turn-based and real-time combat, similar to Dragon Quest XI's 2D 3D toggle, as it would respect both long-time fans of Pokemon and newcomers, while also ensuring that the series evolves with the gameplay. For the graphics and the performance, Visually, Pokémon Legends Z-A does shift more towards Scarlet and Violet's art style than the cel-shaded art style of Legends Arceus. It's semi-realistic, but it does work well for the architecture and atmosphere of Lumiose City. Though I still prefer Legends Arceus's cel-shaded art style, the only issue with that is the pixelation within Arceus's visuals. But luckily, in Legends Z-A, I didn't find any noticeable pixelation within the visuals, as the texture quality does vary depending on what system you play on. I played it on Nintendo Switch 2, and the texturing does look pretty good on Switch 2. I didn't try it on Nintendo Switch 1 for this review, but there are some noticeable texture problems on the Switch 2 version as well, especially within certain Pokemon models such as Zygarde's 100% form, who does have a more pixely like texture in cutscenes where he's up close. I just hope that Generation 10 does fix that. I mean, Pokemon in terms of graphics does not need to be cyberpunk. I just hope they do a better job at the texturing next time. But with that said, Lumiose City itself is gorgeous within its scale, since walking through the different districts of Kalos within an urban environment does feel like you're walking through an anime scale city in a Pokemon game, which I thought we were never ever gonna get. The city does feel alive with the amount of side quests, shops, and story interactions that you can go through do make Lumiose City feel more alive than just a backdrop like in X and Y. However, the wild zones, while I did find them fun to explore, are smaller and less diverse in terms of biomes than those seen in Legends Arceus or Scarlet and Violet. The snowy zone in Z-A is the standout for me, but I would have rather seen some wild zones with deserts, forests, or beaches, which would have added a lot more flavour into them. Performance-wise, Legends Z-A does run quite well on Nintendo Switch 2, but there are a few minor pop-in issues when exploring. The frame rate does remain at 60 FPS, even in large Pokemon battles, and does manage to be a major improvement from Legends Arceus and, of course, Scarlet and Violet. For the characters, one thing I can admit that I didn't like about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet was how lifeless the NPCs were, not just in design, but in personality as well. But Pokemon Legends Z-A, on the other hand, does feel like a major improvement in terms of its characters, since each character feels more unique, both in design and personality. Especially with Canary, who you face off in rank F within the Z-A Royale, does stand out even more than Iono in Scarlet and Violet. Despite having the streamer personality as well, Canary was probably my favourite of the Z-A Royale participants. Yes, I'm aware that fan art of Canary is posted on X Twitter a lot, but my opinion on Canary as a character is nothing to do with that. While Ivor, who you face off in rank E, does bring his heroic energy that complements his design really well. And the top Z-A Royale trainers do bring something new to the mix, because like every other Pokemon game before has just been an 8-gym structure. The Z-A Royale does bring in a new structure to the mix with some fun characters into the mix as well. And one issue I did have with past Pokemon games is that the gym leaders were underutilized after facing them off, since you would face them off in battle and that was it. They were absent for the whole game. But here in Pokemon Legends Z-A, it does manage to use the Z-A Royale trainers throughout the story quite effectively, because I was expecting when confronting Canary that would be the only time I would face off Canary and that was it. And even minor characters were expressive thanks to their improved animations and how the dialogue was written. ZA does manage to show its commitment to giving every character in it a role, whether it's within the story or the side missions, which does make Lumio City lived in instead of feeling completely lifeless. For the story, Pokémon Legends Z-A tells one of the most mature stories in the Pokémon series, which does expand on the overall Kalos lore with elements tied to Zygarde and does contribute to a phenomenal climax at Prison Tower, as the finale brings every character you've met along the way while creating a payoff that's rarely seen in a Pokemon game, with Zygarde's 100% form teaming up alongside you to face off against the Prison Tower with Mega Evolved AZ's Floette inside. And the cutscenes do make it feel more cinematic, as the story does balance the overall emotional weight with the world building as well. And using the themes of balance and unity within the story do actually fit perfectly within Zygarde's character. And even AZ's Floette, which Floette was a Pokemon I never cared about before in general, did provide depth and actually made me care for Floette as a Pokemon in general a bit more now. The best story we've had from Pokemon in the Nintendo Switch era. But the only thing I would wish they would have added into the story was explore Zygarde a bit more. ZA did actually have the potential to add some more forms in for Zygarde. Well, they did add in Mega Zygarde, but if we ignored that, but adding in more Zygarde forms for every 5% would have been pretty cool. For the soundtrack, after the less energetic score of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Pokemon Legends Z-A does return to form with its music that's not just emotional, but is also energetic again, which is exactly what I look for in a Pokemon soundtrack. The Team MZ rival battle does capture the intensity of Legends Z-A, while the Lumiose overworld music does offer a relaxing vibe to it, and the piano-driven pieces within the climax do manage to complement the climax very well and matches the tone of it perfectly. And finally, before we move on to the verdict, we are going to talk about the online. Until Pokemon Legends Z-A, I've never really cared about the competitive side of the Pokemon series. But this time, how online's portrayed in Z-A actually made me interested to dive deeper into the online side of the Pokemon franchise, since the online play is smoother than it was in Scarlet and Violet, and the ranked battles do reward you with Mega Stones if you get to a certain rank each season, which does give me a reason to come back to the online side of Legends Z-A. And while it may seem unfair at first to tie Mega Stones to online play and Nintendo Switch Online, the developers themselves have actually confirmed that the Mega Stones available within Ranked ZA Royale will be available offline later. This might not be the most popular take on a Pokemon game, but there was so much about Pokemon Legends Z-A that managed to work out for me. Yep, Pokemon Legends Z-A is not perfect, because it does have a few flaws along the way, but Pokemon Legends Z-A has just come out as ambitious and rewarding, as it does manage to combine the scale of Pokemon X and Y and the experimentation of Legends Arceus, while also producing a game that does feel familiar and also provides a strong combat system with an effective story and memorable characters. And I may have a few people come after me for this, but I would say Pokemon Legends Z-A, while not my favourite Pokemon game in general, because we still have Ruby and Sapphire and its remakes ahead of it, this is my favourite Pokemon game of the Nintendo Switch era. And the Nintendo Switch era of Pokemon, I think, ended off with a bang. Unlike the underwhelming ending of the 3DS era of Pokemon with Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. And this is why I give Pokémon Legends Z-A the collector perk with the certified silver accolade. And overall, I give Pokémon Legends Z-A a 9 out of 10. Even though Pokémon Legends Z-A did not make it into the certified gold club, Pokémon Legends Z-A does manage to take risks within its combat system that gives it room to grow, adapt, and surprise the players. And I think the risks taken in Legends Z-A have pulled off, even if it barely missed out on the certified gold club for a few flaws. Because it's a game that does manage to improve Kalos while also trying to experiment with something new. And because of that, Pokémon Legends Z-A has earned my respect, both as a Pokemon fan and someone who's been playing the Pokemon franchise since 2016. But the main conclusion is, does Legends Z-A feel like an X and Y sequel, or does it feel like a Legends Arceus sequel? Well, I'm split on the argument because it does feel like both. Since story-wise, it feels like the X and Y sequel we never got in the 3DS era, but gameplay-wise, it does feel like a Legends Arceus sequel. So Legends Z-A is technically both a sequel of X and Y and Legends Arceus. So guys, what did you think of my review of Pokémon Legends Z-A? And next will probably be my review of Hollow Knight Silksong. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and turn your notification bell on so you don't miss another review video like this one in the future. And I will see you all in a future review video. BB8 out.